So I wrote down some notes about something called our generation's crisis.
Okay.
And so what I was calling it was fake lives, fake love, and fake longevity. So what I wrote down was I said that we believe that other generations have had it harder, right? Like, generations who went through World War One, World War Two,
Depression, yeah.
Depression, Vietnam. They didn't have Facebook, right? Like they had it hard.
No cable TV.
No cable TV. Yeah, they had to get up to change the channels.
I mean,
and,
they only had like 4 channels.
Listen, but you still had to get up. But it's basically that it's our generation that's growing up with less love, more depression, and creating a larger distance between each other. So although we've had all the opportunities and we've been able to do all the things we wanted to do, we've had access to everything, why is it that we're growing up in a situation where we feel more disconnected, we feel more depressed, we feel more lonely, we spend more time in solitude? What do you think?
I mean, of course, we can talk about social media and that feeling, like giving you the feeling like you're connected when you're not. I think that there also is an element of it where we're exploring too much of what we're feeling, and we're diving into that maybe too much, where it maybe makes us more aware of what we're feeling, or maybe I watched.
Well, wait, real quick, what do you mean by that? Like we're doing it too much?
I mean, I've heard a lot of people, and I kind of agree with this. Like we talk about the generation where it's like we've given so much to younger generations about like, oh, like you should be the best and you are the best and you're this and you're that. And then like you get into a world where they don't see it that way, or you don't get the recognition or the love or the acceptance in every realm that you go into. And so therefore what you grew up getting told or heard, like then mentally that affects you, because now it's like, okay, well, this is what I told the world would be or what I expected the world to be. And now it's not. So therefore like, I guess even using myself as an example, like I grew up with a very loving mother that no matter what I did, and she would tell me like if I worked at a fast food chain, like not that that's bad, but like she would still be proud of me. And so like then getting into a place where I have more higher expectations for myself, and I expect kind of like the same recognition for any kind of little win that I have, then that becomes more of like a downfall where if I don't get it, then I become affected by it. Maybe not to the realm of like everybody, but I'm affected by it, And in addition to that, I think in our generation more, you've seen more of the rise of like spiritual awakening or of even therapy. Like, not that I think that's bad, but like therapy can be negative in a way where you depend on it too much to find, and you don't do any outside work, or you feel like just by doing therapy that you're going to fix any issues that you might have. I think that might lead to a feeling of more disapproval in your life or what you want in it. And in addition to that, I also think the entertainment that we consume, even outside of social media, in just the world, creates this hyper vigilant image of what life should be, and you're never going to have that. I remember actually when God, what's that movie called? Avatar came out. And how there was literally people committing suicide because they couldn't go to Avatar. Because you don't remember that?
No.
There was literally people that were killing themselves because they were like, I can't go to Avatar. I'll never have Avatar. I'll never live in that world.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think, one of the things that you're saying that is, making me think of a commonality is this idea of like the seeking of approval, right? Like you grew up a certain way, you expected this approval, social media reinforces this, but there are always these little smaller, tiny versions of what we think real approval is. So, to me, I've been a big proponent of building your self-confidence and doing things that are hard and challenging yourself, because if you accomplish those things, what you really get is true self-confidence. If you do something simple and easy and you get the pat on the back, or your mom tells you you're great, or you get the gold star on your paper, or you get the participation trophy, you feel good in the moment.
Yeah.
But then you have to keep reinforcing that
I'll
feeling.
even relate this back to dating. I remember I was talking to one of my girlfriends recently, and there was a guy that kind of had like shunned her, and I asked her, I'm like, well, why are you so interested? And she's like, and she was very honest, and she was like, everything generally comes easy to me. the fact that I can't have this is like kind of driving me insane because I don't understand why I can't have it. So it wasn't even the person that had shunned her that was like making her so interested in him. It was the fact that she was used to getting what she wanted, and therefore she was drawn to that thing that she couldn't have more.
Yeah, I think this takes us down a different tangent a bit, but not a bad thing, because I think the next thing I kind of wrote was that women have never been better, but their mindset is too narrowly focused on success and equality instead of defining their happiness. What's the point of living your best life if you don't know why it's your best life?
No, and I think that's a great point, and I think we can take this back to generational things again.
Well, hold on real quick before you jump to that. Let me finish the next part. So I go, men have become too complacent and have given up on competing because they have been raised in a world of women. Mm-hmm. Single moms, female teachers, no strong male role models around. Men have hid behind the excuse of life is too hard, women are too scary, and playing video games is athletic. Mm. And so, again, we can kind of jump to the next point you're making about dating. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is that even for your friend who's going, things have come easy and I kind of want this thing. Well, really what I'm saying here is that do you want the thing because you believe it's the best thing, or do you want the thing because it's just another pat on the back? It's another participation trophy. It's another gold star. It's another easy thing that you're trying to achieve. Because there's a difference between you go, no. This guy is perfect. He checks all my boxes. I've thought about why they're my boxes. I've kind of bifurcated every different, and it's perfect for me. Mm-hmm. And that's why I want him. And now I'm upset I can't have him because he's versus the person who goes, well, yeah, I've always gotten a participation trophy. Yeah. I didn't get one right now. Why am I not getting
absolutely.
one?
Absolutely. And I'll like, again, using the same example, I talked to another friend recently that literally like was interested in a guy and didn't even really know him, but she reached out to him and he didn't respond. And then it was like, she was like obsessed with this idea of like, why hasn't he responded? And then as we were talking about more, she's like, you're right. I don't know anything about him. I don't know who he is. I don't know what he stands for. It was just literally the fact of not getting it.
Right. So then was that more about him or about her?
It was totally about her.
Right.
No, so absolutely.
Now, real quick, what's the reason it's so about her and she's not thinking, well, why? It's just, I want the thing.
Right. And maybe that relates back to women having to fight for what they've wanted for a period of time now, especially in my generation, like seeing how even like women's libs have like evolved even in my generation and even more so before that. And like you can relate that back to even like
I know what you mean, but I think we're getting off topic a bit, because I think what you're saying is making it fit down the road of like women's issues. When I'm saying back to the generational thing, this isn't about women. This is about men and this is about people.
Yeah.
I'm saying we've all come to expect things are supposed to be too easy.
Yeah.
And if I don't get my participation trophy, even though I participated, I feel like something was taken away from me.
Right.
Is that fair to say? So forget about like women's empowerment. I participated. I got a Kool-Aid, but I didn't get a trophy.
Right.
Like, is it more that, or do you think it's more about her and female empowerment?
No,
you can answer. You can answer honestly.
No, I don't think that particular thing is about.
Okay, so then that's my point.
Yeah.
So you can. I mean, finish your thought, but I'm saying that's the point.
Yeah.
The point is like, it's not about female empowerment. It's about the idea that like, because a man would do the same thing.
Yeah.
And a man will go, well, I did all the right things. I said all the right things, and this girl never hit me back.
Yeah.
And you go, well, was that even the girl that you really liked?
Right.
Or was it just because you thought you did a thing, you should get a trophy for it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what we're talking about. This is more of a bigger generational thing that like we're thinking that these past generations have had it so hard. So why are we more lonely? Why are we more depressed? Why do we feel more isolated?
Do you think we have higher expectations though?
No.
You think it's lower expectations, but still like lower?
I don't think there's any expectation. I don't think you've defined the expectation. That's literally.
Do you think generations before have defined it?
No. But what I'm saying is they also didn't expect a trophy for it. Like,
right, yeah.
If I spent 50 years in a steel mill, I didn't expect to get a trophy for it either.
Right.
If I wasn't the fastest kid in school, I didn't expect to make the team. I didn't complain that like, well, wait a minute, what about me?
Right, yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, so like, I think that's the big difference here, is that we're really talking about something that's, an ecosystem of our generation.
Yeah.
That like we've become so used to having things that are the easiest thing, And then if we don't get them, now we're depressed and lonely and isolated because we didn't get the thing that we thought was the gold star, when really it wasn't the long-term gold star. It was a temporary thing to begin with.
Yeah.
This has been The Invested Life with Adam Khalil. Subscribe, like, comment, but most importantly, share the information you learned. And share the video with a friend or someone who you think might find value from it.